Welcome back, everybody. Glad to gather again in our special virtual sense. Hey, George, Barbara, Marianne, Verona. Oh, I hear you. I know those mornings, the chaotic drop off. You get to settle down, deep breath, a nice hour of, well, we'll see. Who knows? Sometimes Graham puts us through the ringer. We'll see. Ro, Sue, thank you guys all for being here. Other folks who are still warming up or perhaps just settling down with their cup of tea or wine or coffee, morning, evening, whatever time it is, we're glad to have you with us. As the regulars all know, if you run into any tech trouble, please reach out by the support channel or reply to any of the emails I send you. I'm starting the recording so that we can get started momentarily. Here we go. The recording is active. So welcome back, everyone in the class watching by replay. Sad you couldn't join us live. I would love to see you next week. But as always, we'd love to hear from you for any reason. Bridge questions for Graham on the class page. Anything else? hello@learnbridgeonline.com. You'll reach me personally. All right, let's get to it. Where is Graham? Let me find him. Here he is. Okay. Hey there, Graham.
Hey, how's things?
All right, so do you have a workout for us or a nice relaxing hour of bridge learning?
I think we might just like imagine a little basket of lollies, and we're just going to put our hands in and we're just going to grab out some little surprises.
That sounds great. With Halloween coming up, that it feels appropriate. We're coming up just saying, hey, Graham, trick or treat.
Trick or treat. Yeah, well, I never know how that works.
You guys do that down there, right?
Young ones do, but I don't get it.
Oh, Graham, young at heart. Come on. All right, over to you. We'll have to convince Graham to get into the Halloween spirit as in the next couple of weeks. Okay, I'll be here.
Okay, hey everybody. Okay, so we've got a few good questions that have come through and some hands to look at. So let's dig in. And I'm going to start just with a couple of, let me get a screen here to get going anyway. A couple of questions to start off with. A question from Mary. We were talking about how lots of players these days are opening very light, not vulnerable, and first seat. So if you're the dealer, it's very commonplace to open light, not vulnerable. And the question is, do you have to alert that? Or indeed, can you even do it? It does depend a little bit on what's happening in your local club or your country. Now, in New Zealand, we're allowed to open light. So my partner and I open 7 on certainly 8-point hands and some 7-point hands, which we are allowed to do in New Zealand. But I have a funny feeling in the UK, things are a bit stricter and you may not be allowed to do that. There may be some rule that you'll need to check on with your director. But in New Zealand, we can. Do we alert it? Yeah, we alert everything. I mean, the idea of alerting is you want to be generous with your alerting. You know, if you're not sure whether you should alert something or not, just alert it. You want to be helpful to your opponents. So we not only alert our light opening bids, we pre-alert them. So we tell people before we play, look, just letting you know that if we're not vulnerable, we're going to open, we can open quite light. So yeah, be generous with your alerting and explanations. You know, we're good sports, so it's good to do that. Same with, there was an example I gave where Trino Trumps was asking for aces. I know it's a bit strange. And is that alertable? Yeah, it's definitely alertable. Again, if you're not sure whether it's alert, if you think your opponents might not understand what you're doing, then yes, you should definitely alert it, because we want to be nice to our opponents. We don't want to keep them in the dark. So thanks, Mary, for that question. I hope that clarifies. Let's talk just quickly. Like I said, we're going to dip in, like grab some lollies and suck on them for a bit, or whatever you do with lollies. So let's talk a little bit about queue bidding again. Now, one thing with queue bidding, so let's just look at a really simple example. So let's say North opens, one spade, and let's say South bids 3 spades and North bids, I don't know, 4 diamonds. Okay, 1 spade, 3 spades, 4 diamonds. What is that? Is that a trial bid or is that a queue bid? Is 4 diamonds a trial bid or is it a queue bid? Well, we can use our little way we remember it. If we're committed to game, it's a queue bid. If we're trying for game, it's a trial bid. So we're committed to game here. There's no way we can stop short of 4 spades. So definitely a queue bid. Okay, so now the nice thing about the queue bid is that North was going to go to game anyway. He's strong enough to go to game anyway. And he's now, or she, North has invited us to slam without going past game, which is nice. So, imagine North was asking for aces for example, for no trumps. Well, if North doesn't get the reply, if we've got the wrong number aces in the south hand, North has to sign off in 5 spades. And there's no extra, we don't get any extra points for playing in 5 spades. They're just that much harder. So one nice thing about a queue bid is that sometimes you get to make your queue bid, whatever it might be, 4 clubs, 4 diamonds, 4 hearts in this case. I'll go 4 clubs. We can make a queue bid. We can invite to slam without getting past game. All right, now sometimes you might go past game. So let's say North bids 4 diamonds and South bids 5 clubs and North bids 5 spades. Well, yes, it's annoying, and let's say the bidding stops there. You've gone past game, but that's just one of the costs you get by making invitational bids sometimes. And it's really no different than an auction that goes, say, 1 no trump, 2 no trumps. We don't get any extra points for bidding 2 no trumps. 1 no trump making 2 scores the same as 2 no trumps making 2. So we'd rather be in 1 no trump. But if we want to invite, then sometimes we just gotta do it. Now, you guys know I don't like 1 no trump, 2 no trumps. I don't like these bids. I don't like these invitational bids that get us beyond our optimum contract. But, sometimes we got to do them. So Olivia was asking about queue bidding, and I hope that explains to Olivia and everybody kind of how it works. So the good thing with queue bidding is that we can sometimes invite without getting too high. Okay. Now, something else we were looking at last week. We touched on it. Michael's queue bids and unusual 2 no trumps. So let's just have a quick look at this, because if you're familiar with them, great. If you're would like to learn, great. If you don't want to know, that's also great. Don't learn them. But I always found that myself, it's good to have a basic idea about what's going on, because then when other people do this stuff, you sort of know kind of what they're doing, even if you don't want to do it yourself. So because these things are so common in bridge, let's just have a quick look at Michael's cubids and unusual turn-out trumps. Okay, first, where did Michael's cubids and unusual turn-out trumps fit into our big picture? So remember, we've got 3 different areas of bidding that sometimes overlap, but it's always good to think of those 3 different areas. So we've got the constructive bidding, where just our side is bidding. We've got the competitive bidding, where both sides are bidding. And we've got the balancing, where the opposition have started bidding and then they've stopped. So that's balancing. So Michael's cubids are a competitive bidding method. So you can think of, if we think of our competitive bidding system in the same way that we've got an ACOL, standard, precision, or whatever it is, constructive bidding system, as part of our competitive bidding system, some people add Michael's cubids. So that's where they belong, in the competitive bidding section. They belong in competitive bidding. All right, so let's just remind ourselves about competitive bidding. Something we were looking at last week. I tidied it up a little bit. So in competitive bidding, the thing that matters most is our trump fit. The bigger our trump fit, the better our trump fit, the higher we can afford to compete. And in fact, in competitive bidding, it's just about all about the trump fit. The trump fit is going to tell you what to bid, if anything, and if your partner bids, the idea of your trump length will also tell you how high to respond. So our focus isn't on bidding game, it's not on points here. It's all about the trump fit. Now, the unusual turn-out trumps and the Michael's cubids they're a way of showing 2 5-card suits at the same time. It's like overcalling in 2 suits. So we'll look at how that works, and then we'll have a look at how to respond to unusual turn-out trump and Michael's cubids. And if we keep in mind that it's all about the trump fit, then responding becomes really, really easy. Who plays, you guys watching, who actually plays unusual turn-out trumps and Michael's cubids now, and who's sort of borderline and who doesn't like the idea? Or okay, a bit of a mix. Okay, let's start with the unusual turn-out trumps, because it's the easy one. So unusual turn-out trumps. Now, what we're talking about here is a jump overcall of turn-out trumps. So let's say your right-hand opponent opens 1 club and you jump to turn-out trumps. It doesn't apply if it's not a jump. So if your right-hand opponent opens 2 hearts and you bid turn-out trumps, that's not a jump. So it's not the unusual turn-out trumps. It's only a jump to turn-out trumps. And why is it called the unusual turn-out trumps? Because it's pretty unusual to jump to turn-out trumps. I mean, it's a strange thing to do. So that's how you can remember it. And it goes like this. It's really simple. A jump to turn-out trumps shows 2 5-card suits, and it's always the lower 2 unbid suits. So if right-hand opponents opens a club, what are the 2 lower unbid suits? What are the 2 lower suits that haven't been bid yet? Well, it's hearts and diamonds, right? And a diamond, 2 no trumps, the 2 lowest unbid suits, hearts and clubs. 1 heart, 2 no trumps, clubs and diamonds. So I've laid it out there. Let's just look at it at an example. 1, 2 hands. So let's say West bids 1 diamond, and North, your partner, bids 2 no trumps. What's North got? Unusual 2 no trumps is easy. It's the two suits, the lowest suits that haven't been bid yet. So in this case, it's going to be clubs and hearts. Okay, that's pretty easy, isn't it? And Marianne's saying, what if 1 heart, 1 spade? All right, let's take a look. So let's go. Let's say West opens 1 spade and North bids 2 no trumps. What's North got now? It's the 2 lowest unbid suits, or 2 lower unbid suits. So that's clubs and diamonds, 5 diamonds and 5 clubs. So it's kind of easy. Okay, how strong should these 2 no trump overcall be? And that's very much a matter of partnership agreement. So some players play it as it can be very weak. Some players can be very weak or very strong. And some players play it's sort of somewhere in the middle, around about an opening hand. So it's just something for you and your partner to talk about and decide. For me, personally, the vulnerability is extremely important. So not vulnerable. I don't mind being a little bit more aggressive. Vulnerable, I'm not keen unless I got a really good hand. And let me show you why. Let's say we've got, say, something like all right, and East opens 1 spade. All right, so here's our chance to use the unusual 2 no trumps because we've got the 2 lower unbid suits. So we can bid 2 no trumps here, showing 5 diamonds and 4 clubs. Oh, sorry. 5 diamonds and 5 clubs. Don't do it on 5-4. This is 5-5. Wait till you've actually got the 5-5. So we've shown 5 diamonds and 5 clubs minimum. Now, North simply chooses which of those suits North likes best. So if North likes diamonds best, North's going to bid 3 diamonds or some number of diamonds. North likes clubs best, North's going to bid 3 clubs or something. Important thing is that the lowest we're going to get to play this is 3 clubs. Let's say West passes and North bids 3 clubs. Well, we're at the 3 level. If we hadn't used the unusual 2 no trumps, I could have just overcalled 2 diamonds and maybe got to play the hand at the 2 level. So, yeah, you can choose your own range. Talk about it with your partner. For me, vulnerability is important, and I don't go crazy with my Michael's Cubid, so I'm quite happy just to overcall a suit sometimes. Okay, any comments, questions about the unusual turn-out trumps? Never shows spades. Right, it's always the lower 2. Yep. Okay, and Michael's Cubid is the similar sort of idea. It's a way of showing 2 5-card suits. Just a little bit more complicated, but not too bad. So let's say that the opposition opened the bidding 1 club. And if you've got clubs and the opposition have got clubs, you certainly don't want to be bidding 2 clubs. Now, if your right-hand opponent opens at 1 club and you've got a whole bunch of clubs in your hand, you're just going to pass. You're not going to try and play in clubs when the opposition have got clubs. So it makes no sense to bid their suit. Stefan, yes, it is like Gestum. Same sort of thing. So it's almost a simplified version of Gestum. So when we bid the opposition suit, when the opposition open with a suit and we bid their suit, it's actually called a Cubid, which is kind of annoying because it's the same word we use when we're bidding the slam. So we can use the word Cubid comes up in quite a few different situations. So just think of it as, well, think of it as these exact options. The opposition open 1 club and you overcall 2 clubs. Or the opposition open a diamond and you bid their suit immediately. This is a Michael's Cubid. And what does it show? Well, let me go through the 4 things that it shows, and then I'll show you an easy way to remember it. So 1 club, 2 clubs show spades and hearts. 1 diamond, 2 diamonds show spades and hearts. 1 heart, 2 hearts shows spades and either clubs or diamonds. So it's spades and another suit. And 1 spade, 2 spades shows hearts and another suit, one of the minors. The simple way to remember it is that when you make a Michael's Cubid, you've always got as many majors as you can possibly have. So 1 club, 2 clubs, you've got both the majors. Anytime you're making a Michael's Cubid, the focus is on the unbid majors. So 1 club, 2 clubs, no majors have been bid. So the Michael's Cubid shows both of them. 1 diamond, 2 diamonds, no majors have been bid. So the 2 diamond bid shows both majors. 1 heart, 2 hearts, well, you can't have both majors. Can't happen because the opposition have got hearts. So you're saying I've got the other major plus a minor, and 1 spade, 2 spades, I've got the other major plus a minor. Again, let me stress that if you don't like this idea, just don't play it. Just simply overcall your suits. That's absolutely fine. If the opposition start playing it against you, then you'll know what it is. Okay, let's quickly look at a couple of hands and we'll put this into action. I'll bid these hands with you and I'll leave you to play them in your own time later. All right, so East opens 1 spade and we have 2 5-card suits. So if we wanted, we could make a Michael's Cubid or an unusual turn of trumps, or we could pass, or we could simply bid 2 hearts, whatever we want to do. If we did want to show our 2 suits, what do we do here? Is this a case for the unusual 2-note trump, showing the lower 2 unbid suits? Or is this the Michael's cubid, where we show as many majors as we can possibly have? This is the Michael's cubid, because if we bid 2-note trumps here, we'd be saying we had clubs and diamonds. So here we bid 2 spades, and we'd be showing 5 hearts and 5 clubs. All right, 2 spades, and partner bids 3 hearts. That's great, and that's high enough. Now, for the record, I won't play this, but let me just, I'll leave you guys to fiddle with that one. For the record, I would not make a Michael's cubid on this hand. I would not make a Michael's cubid on this hand, because I don't really want to be going to the 3 level. It's not such a great hand. It's not super strong. By making a Michael's cubid, we're committed to the 3 level, whereas I'm just going to bid 2 hearts on this hand. And I'm going to keep that club suit hidden. So, and you've got to make your own mind up about how much you want to use these things. For me, it's a tool in the toolkit, but it's at the bottom of the toolkit. I don't use it that often. Okay, what happens when partner makes a Michael's cubid or an unusual 2-note trumps? Right, what's North got this time? 1 spade, 2 spades. Tell me what North's hand is. Is North bidding, is that the unusual 2-note trumps, or is it the Michael's cubid? Well, it's not the unusual 2-note trumps. So it must be the Michael's cubid. So North has got hearts. It's always as many majors as you possibly can have. Not spades, obviously. So North's got hearts and one of the minors. We don't know which minor it is, and we don't want to play on hearts. So what do we do here? Well, we just bid 3 clubs, and this is the kind of weird bit, but we bid 3 clubs, and if partner's suit is clubs, partner will pass and we'll play in 3 clubs. If partner's suit is diamonds, partner will bid 3 diamonds. So when we bid 3 clubs or 4 clubs or 5 clubs, we're saying, I don't want to play in hearts. I want to play in whichever minor suit you've got. So what we definitely do not want to do here is we do not want to bid 3 diamonds. We do not want to do that, because partner probably hasn't got diamonds. Partner's probably got hearts and clubs. So we bid 3 clubs. And if partner happens to have diamonds, sure, partner will bid diamonds, but probably doesn't. 3 clubs is alertable. Yeah, it's the same thing as before. Kevin's asking, is 3 clubs alertable? If you're not sure if it's alertable or not, just alert it is a simple solution to these things, because the idea of alerting is that we want to be fair, and we're not allowed to keep secrets. We're not allowed to have secrets from the opposition. So it's our duty. We must tell them when we're making a bid that they might not understand or isn't. If we're bidding clubs and we don't have clubs, we've got to alert it. So if you're ever not sure, you've got to alert. You're never going to get in much trouble for alerting when you shouldn't alert, but you're going to get in a lot of trouble for not alerting when you should alert. So I always alert if I'm not sure. If I'm thinking, should I alert or shouldn't I alert? I just alert. Nothing bad's going to happen if you alert. Okay, but that's it. That's how Michael's Q-bids and unusual two-no trumps works. Don't get bogged down on the point count too much about it, because it's not really about point counts. Michael's Q-bids and unusual two-no trumps are a way of showing length in the suits, and you're going to respond based on your length rather than on your points. Okay, all good with that? Now, next, all good? Okay, great. I think we're okay. So next, I'm going to look at, where am I? Share this tab instead. Let me just talk for a second. So Trish McDaniel very bravely sent in her scores from Sky Bridge Club 10 hands yesterday, and Trish said she didn't get a very good score, and could we take a look together at her scores? So I thought we'd do that. We won't look at all of them. We'll just look at a couple of what I thought were the most important ones. And I want to just start by saying one of the things that I've talked about a reasonable amount, but I think it's worth repeating, is that when we're playing match point pairs, so we're not talking teams or imp scoring here, we're just talking pairs where it's you and your partner playing against everybody else, match point pairs. When we're playing match point pairs, we definitely do not want to be pushing for tight games. We don't want to be bidding close games and slams. It's just not worth it. Now, how does this fit into this idea of, I'm always talking about being aggressive and pushing and not vulnerable, getting in there and doing stuff. And now I'm saying, well, hang on a minute. No. When we're bidding games and slams, just back off. We don't want to be bidding close games and close slams. How do we reconcile those two things? How can I be saying on one hand, be aggressive, and on the other hand, be cautious, conservative? Conservative is the word I'm looking for. What's going on there? It's certainly judgment, Marianne. Yep. Let's get the hands up here. More importantly, we're actually talking about two different bidding situations. So, where's skybridge.com? So when I'm talking about being aggressive, I'm really talking about competing for the part score. So when we're not vulnerable, we want to be aggressive in the part score battle. Part score aggression, non-vulnerable, is important. That's not bidding game. Bidding game or slam is not the time to be aggressive. Part scores, trying to outbid the opposition at low level in a part score when we're not vulnerable, that is the time where we want to be aggressive. And when I'm opening the bidding a little light or doing something a little crazy, it's because I'm hoping to get into the auction at a low level and then get out of the auction. That works. Bidding close games does not. So with that in mind, let's have a look at just a couple of Trish's scores. And first one was this one. Now I'm picking, let me also say this, I'm picking 2 scores to look at because I think they'll be helpful. For the record, on the other 8, Trish did really well, and actually, Trish, our scores were pretty close. I didn't have a terribly good day yesterday, so I'm not going to confess what my score was, but it wasn't much different than yours. So don't feel bad now. But I thought these 2 hands made an important difference. So pass, 1 heart pass. How are we going to respond on this? Let's just think about all the stuff that we always talk about. What can we do here? So we're in a constructive auction here. It's just outside bidding. We're in a constructive auction. So we're changing the suit. We're exploring. We want to keep the bidding low. And North bids 2 diamonds. Now what? Let me know your thoughts. It's an interesting hand, isn't it? Lots of things we could do on this hand. I looked at this for a long time before I decided. All made your decision? Let's go through some of the possibilities. Right, so let's talk about what Trish did first, and that is Trish now bid. Well, what have we got there? 10, 15 points, and diamond fit looks pretty good, doesn't it? How do you feel about a slam in diamonds? North's opened the bidding, got 5 hearts, 4 diamonds. We've got that good diamond suit, and we've got 15 points. North's opened. What are your thoughts on 6 diamonds? Okay, so I think it's too. I think if I'm playing teams or something, then I might be tempted. But playing match point pairs, I'm not tempted because if we go back to our all right, we just follow our chart. If we're going to play in 6 diamonds, we want to have a trump fit and a bit of shape and around 30 to 32 points between the 2 hands. That's our basic idea for slam. 30 to 32 points, trump fit, and a little bit of shape to go with it. So we've got 15 and North's shown 12. So we're a little short. More importantly, or just as importantly, we do not want to be pushing for close slams and close games playing match point pairs. So I think 6 diamonds is too much there. I still wasn't sure. So I actually bid 3 clubs. I think 3 no trumps is fine, but I chose 3 clubs. Now, why would I bid 3 clubs on a 2-card suit? Why would I do that? Okay, 3 clubs is the 4th suit. Hearts, spades, diamonds, clubs. It's the 4th suit, so it's the 4th suit forcing bid, And it doesn't say I've got clubs. It just says I probably got something in clubs, but I'm not quite sure what to do next. Partner, do something. And maybe we still will end up in 6 diamonds. Maybe North will bid 4 diamonds now or something. I'm not sure. But I just wanted to keep the bidding going. I wasn't quite sure what to do. North bid 3 no trumps. And that's high enough. If North had spades, if North had 2 or 3 spades, he could have shown partial support for the spades. He could have bid his hearts again, but North bid 3 no trumps, and that was fine. So 3 no trumps was actually a pretty good contract. Okay, so Trish, I like the fact that you recognize that you got that diamond fit, and slam was certainly a possibility, but you need to be pretty sure it's there. You don't want to be just hoping it's there when you're playing pairs. Now, let's take a look at another hand, and this one is really, I think, really brings the point home. Now, Trish got a superb score on this one. What have I got here? And 8. Right, here we go. So what are we going to do this? Pass, pass, pass. What do you want to bid with this one? Worth an opening bid, isn't it? I think so. Yeah, 1 heart. Bit worried about the spade suit, but it's fine. North bids 1 spade. Now what? I can go 2 ways here. Playing, well, if you're playing Acol, you've got no choice. If you're playing standard, you could actually rebid 1 no trump here, showing 12 to 14 in a balanced hand. If you're playing Acol, you can't, of course. So what's next? 2 clubs, right. And North bids 2 no trumps. North's already passed, so North's almost certainly going to have 11 points, maybe 10, probably 11. Let's call it 11. Can be 12. What are we going to do now? Now, first thing, we've already shown 5 hearts and 4 clubs. When we opened a heart and rebid 2 clubs, we must have 5-card heart suit. If we had 2 4-card suits, we wouldn't have bid it like that. So North knows we've got 5 hearts and 4 clubs. We do not have a heart fit. 100% certain we do not have a heart fit. So we don't want to be bidding our hearts again. We've already shown 5 of them. Now, I'm not keen on game. I'm not keen on playing in 2 no trumps, as you know. For me, it's just middle of nowhere. So I've got that going on in my head. Can't stand playing in 2 no trumps. Then on the other side of my head is saying, don't bid tight games. Don't bid close games playing match point pairs. So I chose to pass. And here we are. We played in 2 no trumps. Now, as it happens, how many tricks do you think we can make here? Have a little look, have a little add up. Well, we're going to make 3 diamond tricks, ace, king, queen. We're going to make 2 club tricks. So that's 3 diamonds and 2 clubs is 5. And we're going to be able to make 4 heart tricks because we just knock out the ace of hearts. And the opposition, they can take 3 spades against us, but that's all they're going to get. So we can play diamond, set up our long suit, keep going with the hearts, and now we're great. Now we're home and host. We just, the old set up your long suit trick. And we're actually going to end up making there's 8 and there's 9 tricks. Oh, good growth. 10 tricks. He's through a club. So 2-no trumps making 10. We missed game. We missed a game. Now let's look at the scores. And really, I think even more than the last hand, this shows us why we don't want to be bidding tight games in pairs. Look at our score. 2-no trumps making 10 tricks. For some reason he's through a diamond, but even making 9 tricks was still worth 70%. We scored, when I played it earlier, I scored 70% for being in 2-no trumps making 3. 2-no trumps making 4 was 81%. What's this? When Trisha played it, Trisha bid 3-no trumps. 3-no trumps. Wow, awesome, and made 3. So well done, Trisha, for bidding 3-no trumps making 3. What's Patricia's score for bidding and making 3-no trumps making 3? Trisha's score for 3-no trumps making 3. It was, just got it here, lost it. I think it was 97%. 97%. Okay, so Trisha scored 97% for 3-no trumps making 3, which is an awesome score. Really good. The only thing is, it's actually not much better than mine. Okay, I got 81% for being in 2-no trumps. So this bidding close games, there's a 2-part thing to it, or bidding close games and bidding close slams. There's actually 2 parts to it. One is that if you don't make it, you're going to get a terrible score. So you don't want to be doing it for that reason. Secondly, even if you do make it, you don't get that much of a better score than you would have been stopping in a part score. Okay, so 2-no trumps making 4 was almost as good as 3-no trumps making 4. 2-no trumps making 3 was still almost as good as 3-no trumps making 3. There's a lot of risk for only a little bit of gain when we bid close games and slams. Does that make sense? Can you see what I'm getting at there? I hope you all can. I know it feels good because, oh yeah, awesome. We got a great score. We did really well. It just actually doesn't actually do us that much good. Anyway, I just picked out 2 of Trish's hands, and Trish, honestly, on the other 8, we were almost identical on the other 8 scores. So you did better than me on this one. There's probably only that one slam hand that was just too pushy was the difference between our scores. So you really did really well. Thank you for sharing. And everybody else, it's not too painful, is it? Share your scores. I think it's really instructive, helpful. So well done, Trish. And yeah, the big lesson, aggression is for competitive, non-vulnerable auctions. That's where the aggression is. We don't want to be aggressive bidding games and slams. Okay, good. We're going great. Just for a bit of fun to finish with, I thought we'd take a look. Recently, the New Zealand championships have been on, and I found some scores from the teams final, of which I was not part of. I've been knocked out by this stage. But check some of these hands out. Share this tab instead. And we want, right. That's Cornell, that's not Cornell laser. All right, so we have two New Zealanders, East-West. This is the final of the New Zealand teams, and Australian and a guy, very, very nice player from the States, Adam Kaplan, in the South seat. And I thought these hands were quite interesting because North was the dealer on this hand, and look at North's opening bid. Look at North's opening bid. 3 spades. What? Ha! What? Is he crazy or what? Well, let me tell you, he's not crazy. He's a very good player. It's a good partnership. And he opens 3 spades on a 6-card suit with 1 honor and an outside check. Oh my goodness gracious me. What? What's that all about? What possessed him to do that? And he's not fooling around. I mean, this is these guys have been on a long plane flight to get here to play this match. So why is he doing that? It's a preempt. You know, it's a preempt the same way we know preempts. What did he do that for? Can anyone see what was going on in his head? All the clues are there. There you go, Rosa. Look at the vulnerability. Now, this is exactly the sort of thing that I've been talking about recently. North is the dealer. Okay, first person to bid. I know you're used to thinking about this as the third person to bid, but North is the dealer and he's not vulnerable. And the opposition are vulnerable. Okay, notice North is the dealer. He's not vulnerable. And East-West are vulnerable. That's the time that players these days are going crazy, and this guy opened 3 spades. Wow, that's aggressive, isn't it? Wow, that's aggressive. It's exactly what we've been talking about. Aggressive, non-vulnerable, part score bids. Okay, preempt. Now we're used to a good 7-card suit. He's doing it on a pretty ordinary 6-card suit. Okay, I won't play that one. Okay, this is hand 2. Now this one, East and South both pass. Right, so pass from East, pass from South. Now's not the time to be aggressive. West, Ashley Bark, very, very good player from New Zealand, opened this 1 diamond. Still pretty light. It's only 10 points, and he is vulnerable. What would he do that for? How can he justify that 1 diamond bid? Third seat. Yep, he's the third position there. So it's okay. I mean, you don't have to, but so anyway, Ashley chose to do that. North bid 2 clubs. What do you think of North's bid there? Can you think of another option for North? North overcalled 2 clubs. Can you think of anything else North might have done? Yeah, North. The other thing North could have done there was double, because he's short in diamonds. He's got length in the other suits. Anyway, North decided to bid 2 clubs. East bid 2 diamonds, and the bidding went pass. All right, 1 diamond, 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, pass. Actually, I'm just going to. Oh no, you can see it. What sort of auction is this? When the bidding goes 1 diamond, 2 clubs, 2, well, pass, 1 diamond, 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, pass. What sort of auction is North in now? It's a balancing auction, George. Perfect. The bidding's, yeah, there you go. Bidding's dying out. 2 diamonds, pass. If North passes, the bidding stops. And as far as North is concerned, look at that auction from East and West. 1 diamond, 2 diamonds. There's no way North wants to defend that 2 diamond contract. So North balances with a double. Now, it turns out North's got a pretty good hand. But that double is a takeout double, Patricia. So we know it's a takeout double because when the opposition have got a trump fit and they're trying to play at a low level, double is always takeout, not penalties. Okay, so one more time. It fits in with all the stuff we talk about competitive bidding, but one more time. When the opposition have shown a trump fit, which they have here, 1 diamond, 2 diamonds, so they've shown they've got a trump fit, and they're trying to play at a low level, then double is for takeout, it's not for penalties. So that double there from North was a takeout double, and South chose to bid 2 spades. Now, maybe South could have bid 2 hearts, whatever. I mean, the auction didn't turn out so great, but actually 6 hearts makes, doesn't it? 6 hearts is a good contract. How about that? 6 hearts is not a good contract, I must say. 6 hearts is a little bit lucky, but 6 hearts happens to make. So it wasn't the perfect contract for North and South by any stretch of the imagination, but we do recognize that balancing double there. It's takeout because they've got a trump fit. Isn't it amazing when we look at these boards that all the stuff that we talk about keeps coming up? Now check this one out. 1 spade, 3 clubs. We were talking about Michael's Cubids and unusual turno trump before. There's this more advanced version. There's another version of this that some people play, and it would appear that that's what Ashley and Mike Cornell were doing here. 1 spade, 3 clubs. 1 spade, 3 clubs. That looks a bit odd. Some people play a sort of a 3 version. They play Michael's Cubids and unusual turno trumps and a jump to 3 clubs like this, all is showing 2 5-card suits. And that's what appears to be happening here. So that 3 club from West, I haven't got their system card, but it almost certainly showed 5 hearts and 5 diamonds. There's all sorts of different ones. There's Gestum and there's what's Kevin calling Michael's Crow. Yeah, there's Stefan's calling Gestum and Michael's Crow. There's a whole bunch of different ones there's people use, but you've got to have the agreement for that. And East decided, I don't want to play in Hearts and Diamonds, so he just left in 3 clubs, which was kind of amusing. Okay, so we better call it a night, I guess. That's been an hour already, so let's just quickly summarize it's been fun, but we try and get something useful out of it. Close games, we don't want to be bidding close games and close slams playing match point pairs. 1. Trisha, you did really well. Trish, you did really well on those hands. We were close. We learned about Michael's cubids and unusual turno trumps. And for me, it's kind of the same as last week. It's just fascinating when we look at these boards from these really good events, how we can see all the stuff that we've been talking about. They're just doing the stuff straight out of our lessons. Maybe they're, hey, Bashir, are these people coming to our lessons, Bashir? Maybe these players are sneaking into the lessons or something and getting ideas and applying them to the game. Because it's there, isn't it? They're just doing it.
You said you're getting recognized more and more when you show up for these, so very possible.
Good one.
Trish, thank you. Well done. That is just so cool. Well done. The invitation remains open, folks in the class. Share one of those days that puzzles you. Not your best day, not your worst day, something in the middle. Send it through wherever you play. It could be, at the local club or online on whatever platform. And let's keep it up. We'll keep supporting each other. It's really so cool seeing, I guess, how we all end up in similar dilemmas, and Graham getting the reassurance from you, which is so often feels like, take a breath, simplify. You don't always have to, rush off to the races. So really fun today.
Good one. Yeah, fun for me too. I'm really enjoying looking at these the old view graph hands and seeing everybody do this stuff. Amazing, really good fun.
Very good. All right. Well, thank you, Graham. Thank you, everyone, especially folks who could show up live. Folks watching by replay, we'd love to see you next week if you're able. But keep the comments and questions and results coming. And let's all start thinking what we want to wear for our Halloween theme lesson coming up in a couple of weeks.
Got it.
Graham, we're all going to come trick-or-treating, so be ready.
I'm ready for it. I'll get my pumpkin ready.
There we go. Bye, y'all. Thanks, Graham.
Thank you. Good